Assalamualaikum and a very good day. My name is Muhammad Nur Aiman bin Razali and my metric number is 265060. So we are from group 1 and we would like to present about case 2, which is Board of Tender Dilemma, Challenges, Success and Accountability. So I will start with the executive summary. So this case is about Mr. Abu, who's the member of the tender board at the ABBA Municipal Council, and it is said that Mr. Abu has committed corruption in the procurement of government assets because of the pressure that he faced, which are family, health and also financial. So because of this, the assets received did not meet the specifications and also were queried by the auditor. So the problem about this case is about the corruption that has been committed by Mr. Abu. So the question is, what ABBA Municipal Council should do in order to overcome the procurement issues? So the first suggestion that our group suggests is to investigate the mastermind and terminate him from the company. So the second suggestion is to take corrective action, which is robust internal control. Now we will move to the statement of the problem. So ABBA Municipal Council has decided to purchase compactors. So Datuk Zainal, as the president of ABBA Municipal Council, stressed that the procurement needs to follow the rules and principles that have been stated by the government and also the auditor. So Mr. Abu, as one of the tender committee members at the ABBA Municipal Council, has been given the power to choose the contractors to supply the assets by evaluating the tenders that have been submitted by them. So because of this, Mr. Abu has received many gifts from the contractors. So one of the contractors, which is Mr. Chow, knows the way to get this project. So what he did was he buys things that Mr. Abu likes, such as the Superbike and also the flagship smartphone. So why did Mr. Abu commit corruption? So the first reason is because of his family. So Mr. Abu is the only breadwinner for the family and he has 4 children to support. He also needs to support his 5 siblings that stayed at the village. So the second reason is because of the financial. So Mr. Abu lives in Kuala Lumpur, in which the living costs are high. So he also has a high taste of lifestyle, but his financial cannot afford all of this. So what he did, he took some loans from the unauthorized lender called the Along, and this has put a high pressure to Mr. Abu in settling the debt. So the third reason is because of his health. So he got high blood pressure and also several times admitted to the hospital, and this has cost a lot of money to cure his illness. So because of his greediness and wild desire to live a luxurious life, so the audit findings of the asset procurements that were presented by the National Audit Department did not meet the specification. So Datuk Zainal was really upset and embarrassed about the findings. So Mr. Abu felt really guilty about his action that led into this. So that's all from me. I will pass this presentation to the next presenter. Thank you.
Hello doctor, my name is Madan Raj and my MIT number is 264172. Today I would like to present about the Board of Tender Dilemma case. So my part is about the causes of the problem. I will be using the fraud triangle theory to explain about the problems happen in this case. The first one is pressure. Individuals may perceive pressure as a result of a variety of situation, condition, whether work-related or personal. In this case study, we can categorize this pressure into 2 types, occupational and also social pressure. The first one is occupational pressure is a type of pressure that is common in the workplace and hard to avoid. Internal parties are putting pressure on the company. The superior exert internal pressure. Based on the case study, in terms of pressure, top management, Dr. Zainal, President of ABBA Municipal Council, is pressuring to achieve KPI targeted. Next, social pressure also contributed to fraudulent behavior occurrence. In this case, Mr. Abu is not hesitant to accept bribes or prizes for assisting Mr. Cho indirectly in winning tenders. This relationship will continue until the subsequent procurement process. Other facts show that Mr. Abu participated in acts of fraudulence, which is corruption, receive compensation through some form of malpractice to fulfill a luxurious lifestyle. Mr. Abu also get pressured when experiencing financial difficulties until he desperately needed to ask money from an unauthorized lender called Halong. The next element of the fraud triangle is opportunity, refers to the circumstances that allow fraud to occur. Since there is no proper job segregation, Mr. Abu has committed fraud successfully by involving in corruption indirectly. There is no one to supervise Mr. Abu in making selection of the tender, where enable him to make decision by himself, and failure to follow standard operating procedure to ensure tender is not misappropriated for personal interest. Not only that, there is no internal auditor to monitor and audit the decision of Mr. Abu in selecting the tender as a business partner. The last element of the fraud triangle is rationalization. So rationalization is about personal justification of dishonest actions. So what we can see in this case is that there is lack of professionalism. This is evident when Mr. Abu, as a leader of ABBA Municipal Council, convicted white-collar crimes by accepting gift and compensation from Mr. Cho, tend to recognize his wrong behavior, but he feels it is acceptable situation since he needs to achieve KPIs of the company and wanted to live luxuries of lifestyle.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Najiha binti Muhammad Imran and my matric number is 265005. Regarding the conflict in this case, I would like to suggest two suggestions for ABBA Municipal Council that may resolve the problems. The first option that can be applied is investigate the mastermind and terminate from the company. This alternative will relate with the legal follow-up. ABBA Municipal Council may conduct proper investigation to recognize the mastermind. They need admissible evidence to prove that person is really committed to fraud or not. After that, they can decide whether they want to terminate the person and take any suitable legal action or use other alternative. Based on my research and knowledge, this option may take a long journey, which is about 2 to 3 months to collect all the evidence. Depends on the speed process before going to further action. By applying to this option, the company may need to hire fraud examiner in order to identify the sources or causes, assess potential liabilities, and detect recovery of losses. They also may need to spend on lawsuit costs. As this solution can help the company, I am sure that the management will accept this alternative as they can know who is the person that involved in the procurement that caused the implementation not according to the specification. However, the impact for choosing this method is that the company will be free from theft and record of audit finding can be fixed to a better result. The one who commit to fraud will get commensurate punishment against their unethical action, and all the employees will gain more awareness if they have intention to commit with fraud. The next option I would like to suggest is take corrective action which focus on robust internal control. The company may review their policies and procedure to strengthen the employees' accountability. A company also can diversify the job scope by implementing segregation of duties. In addition, they also can conduct management supervision to monitor daily operation. And from my observation through other cases, this action will take a couple of months for the staff and management to adapt with the new norms. This alternative will cause a company to spend on fidelity bond like shadow fidelity bond, blanket position bond, and primary commercial blanket. ABBA Municipal Council also need to hire a manager to supervise the management operation and professional fees to advise and review the best policy and procedure. The acceptability to management for this option is high, as it can prevent the improper conduct from continuously happening. Last but not least, this method may help ABBA Municipal Council to maintain their good name and reputation from perform to any fraudulent. The employees also can experience a better company culture, which they will have a positive work environment. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, good day to Dr. Noor Afza and my dear friends. I'm Kalashni Viswaranjan, my metric number 264037. I'm going to present pros and cons of all alternative from Board of Tender Dilemma case. The first possible solution for the company is investigate the mastermind and terminate from the company by legal follow-up. One of the advantage of this option is addressing and correcting workplace problems. A proper investigation will reveal workplace issues one way or another, enable company chairman leaders to create plan for further action and avoid workplace liability. Through an investigation, we are able to identify potential negative workplace issues. The issues that are spot are then identified and the employers are terminated from the company. Next, advantage of the company is encourage employees communication and reporting. Investigating and dealing with the problems quickly will encourage employees to come forward with their issues and concerns. However, there were some disadvantages of investigate the mastermind and terminate from the company. The disadvantage is the need to fill their position. In order to fill the position, the company needs to spend a lot of time and resource to interview, hire and train the new employee. It will take time to get new employee up to speed and performing at the level of the position. Secondly, increase the burden of the employees who have been retained. After the issues that are spot and identify and the employees are terminated from the company, so it will increase workload of other employees in the company. Therefore, the stress level automatically increase, causing them to come in for all kinds of health issues like heart disease and high blood pressure. The second possible alternative solution is take corrective action by robust internal control. One of the advantages of this option is reduce the risk of fraudulent and corruption activity in the company. The examination concentrates on such issues as the separation of duties, safeguarding of tender records, the training level and competence of employees, and the effectiveness of the internal audit function of the company. Aside from that, internal control are processes designed to help safeguard the company and minimize risk to the objective. Therefore, internal control minimize risk, ensure accuracy of records, promote operational efficiency and encourage adherence to policies, rules and regulations. However, there were some disadvantages of robust internal control. One of the disadvantages of this option is a company's auditor become over-dependent on the internal control system. The presence of internal control system may cause the auditor to reduce volume of examinations performed like making inquiries to employees and inspecting source documents. Other than that, internal control systems have inherent limitation. Even though internal control are implemented to prevent fraud and corruption, The system may not detect all types of fraudulent and corruption activity. Finally, internal control reports can contain human errors and fail to identify fraudulent and corruption activities. That's all from me. Thank you. I pass to my group member.
Hi, my name is Nur Ain Farisha Midni Mazaki. My metric number is 261049, and I will continue with the recommendation that this paper would like to suggest for this case. ABBA Municipal Council Management are in dilemma regarding the issues arise on matter of procurement of government assets which detected to be filled with lobbying, corruption, and abuse of power. These issues has caused the asset received did not meet the specification required by the board of ABBA Municipal Council. This paper would like to suggest the management of ABBA Municipal Council to take corrective action by restart to reverse the internal control of the organization. The problem that arises is regarding the transparency and integrity in the procurement of government assets, which caused by internal virus based on the case. This paper has identified the roots of this problem, which in previous part of this paper, they have discussed regarding the fraud triangle happening within the organization. The fraud triangle in which contain the drivers of the fraud itself, which is pressure, opportunities, and rationalization. With the recommendation of taking corrective action, this case will have to start reboost the internal control of the organization. Rebooting the internal control in an organization does not mean that the organization having weak and bigger fraud exposure. Rebusting the internal control means that the organization wants to take a closer look on what happened within the organization itself. Since the auditor of ABBA board found that the specification of the procurement did not being fulfilled, hence enhancing the internal control would show the management of the organization of what is really happening inside the organization. Having a good internal control will give the assurance on the accomplishment of the organizational goals and objectives. This internal control can provide the management the financial report and organization performance that the management can really rely and depend on in making any decision. In the by this internal control, it will ensure that the performance and the parties involved in a tender or project will be complied with the applicable standard and rules set by the board and avoid any public scandal. Since ABBA Council did not know how some company can have the tender even though they did not follow the specification, by rebooting the internal control, the board can avoid this kind of attitude. Next, in implementing the new internal control, some analysis must be done. Hence, this paper will show the SWOT analysis in implementing this new internal control within the organization. The first features in the SWOT analysis is the strength itself. The strength of this internal control will assure the success of one project and the organization objective. Second, providing more reliable and dependable report for the decision making for the board. Third, keep the management and the higher position of the board update for the new project and tender and the standard within the tender and the project. Fourth, reducing the risk of fraudulent and corruption activity within the member of the ABBA Municipal Council. Fifth, have help the safeguard of the ABBA Municipal Council and minimize the risk exposure to the objective of the project. Second features in the SWOT analysis is the weakness. The weakness that being identified in this implementation of the new internal control is higher cost. In implementing the new internal control, there are some costs must be incurred, such as resources, time, and effort. These three things is the crucial things in making to ensure that the new internal control be implemented is in the correct and right path. Second, ABBA Municipal Council auditors become more over-dependent on the internal control system than the management itself, which is mean the auditors become more powerful or more in higher position, better than the management itself. The third, internal control system. The new internal control system will have inherent limitation, which is the limitation have will not be easily break. The third features in the SWOT analysis is the opportunity, the external opportunity that might have come from this implementation of the new internal control. The first opportunities is uh, this internal control will increase the credibility and the integrity of this ABBA Municipal Council in the public eyes. Second, the stakeholders and the partners will be more careful in applying for the project and tender. This will make it easier for the organization, which is the ABBA Municipal Council, to supervise the project and the tender given or served to the public. The third, increase the transparency for public sector company. The last features in the SWOT analysis is threat, external threat for this implementation, which is first, in short term, the organization may have some bad image to the public since the changes being implemented within the organization, there are some members that should be eliminated or stay within the organization itself. This will be this will reflect the bad image for the board. And the second, the organization may be seen less accountable for any accident or incident or any scandal in one project or tender, as the auditor may have bigger and power position in the internal affairs. I think that's all from me. Thank you.